All right, I think we're back. Cool. Okay. So, I'm curious whether or not Sidney and Andrew want to look into, want to. Actually, I think we do want to see a little bit of the trying to, like, what happens in this thing afterwards, because I don't think I can. The question is whether or not you want to do it as a scene or whether you want to just like hit the move in a montage. Sidney, as far as like are you agreeing to help Wolf with her problem actually?
Yeah. I absolutely am. I think the questions that I have about it are more about like, what's the nature of that relationship, and like, what is the what's the tone, I guess, of the fiction?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we could play it out. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Spots.
All
right.
Yeah, like establishing shots of like bits of machinery turning and blinking and beeping. How, like, is this a shed that has the inside part, or you just got most of it out in the junkyard, or is it a, like, how much of a building is this?
Yeah, I think let's divide it 50-50, and it's 50% a building, and in any other circumstance you would think like, oh, that's a big place to store some stuff, and that's probably what Lockheed thought, is like, okay, I'll just put everything in here. But the scale of some of this stuff and the volume as well has just meant that like it has overflowed into like pseudo junkyard out the back. You know, I don't think of it like as this fenced finite volume of space. I think it's just like there is the apocalypse outside, and I am spilling out to meet it.
There's a guy, a family friend from when I was young, where like he ran a sand business, but that meant like repairing a lot of trucks, and so there was like his little house where his partner spent a lot of her time, and then there was the enclosed area. What's the word? Like a not a veranda, but like huge shed area, right? That was like the like big steel roof that came off of the house and like came over the house a little bit, full of all these huge machines and things. And then in there, amongst all of these big like trucks being repaired and front end loaders and things, was also like an area with like a barbecue and like some sofas so like an outdoor cooking and lounge area. And then like one of the guys who was a truck driver would like basically live there in a caravan that was also now in this huge like big covered area that had just kind of like expanded out from what had previously been a quite small little brick house. So I don't know. That's my reference.
Good touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think inside and I do love the idea that like a lot of this electronica like moves and beeps and flashes with lights, and there's probably no way of discerning those that are still performing functions and those that kind of just aren't switched off. And inside, among all these like soft lights and sharp sounds, there's probably not a lot of like comfort, right? It's a lot of steel and square edges and hard things. And so I think what I consider a workspace and what I consider like a guest bedroom are probably one and the same. And I have cleared you off, offered you like a work table.
Yeah, and I think that's like good enough for her. Like she just has a little bedroll or whatever that she sets out and just lays down on the table, fully clothed, and falls asleep for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And just like makes herself at home, like basically sets up camp inside of your garage warehouse thing.
Yeah, right. Nice. And so when I come in, oh, sorry.
I just want to say, like the if you're like falling asleep, is it that like I'm curious whether it's an animal falling asleep or a soldier falling asleep.
When it is time to sleep, she lays down and is asleep, and then she wakes up like 6 hours later. It's very perfunct, I guess. So yeah, more soldierly, I guess, than animal-like.
Yeah, when I come in the morning, bringing in a collection of like spare parts and stuff. Are you vigilant? Like, are you easily woken?
I think she's probably already awake,
Mm-hmm.
and has like set out her payment options for you in 2 little piles, and is busy like, I don't know, she has like a little camp stove or something where she's heating up some water in it or whatever, doing some little morning ritual.
Nice. Talk me through these payment options. Like, is there anything meaningful, anything notable? Anything? Have you been anywhere cool and stolen me anything good?
Yeah, I think she like went out farther than she'd ever been before because it's just been harder and harder to find stuff. And so one of the there's like a pile of just like electronics, like circuit boards, wires, these kinds of things. That's clearly like decent, relatively fresh military salvage. Like there was a battle or a firefight or something out there, and she like saw the flashes of light and went out to that place and got the leftovers, right? Like scavenged the aftermath of that and brought it back. So it's like pretty decent stuff. And then the other, like next to that, there's this like tall can sized little like capsule thing that it's not quite clear what it is, but it certainly looks high tech.
Nice. Nice. I appreciate the stuff. And I think like, yeah, but I'll let my interest reflect Lockheed's there, right? Which is like they spend a little bit of time there before coming over to see you. This isn't a like, oh, I'll do it and trust that you'll pay me. It's I'll inspect your offerings and yeah.
And I think while you're doing that, she just says like, don't sleep on that capsule thing. That's probably the best of the bunch.
I'm sure the metal composition looks at least late war, so I'm sure something in it is going to be interesting. But speaking of interesting pieces of scrap, what's brought you to me? What have you done to it this time?
She like shoots you a look, but kind of lets it slide that you have compared her to scrap, and just says, "I just used it to talk. Didn't hit it with a stick or something. I took as best care of it as I could, but everything breaks down eventually, especially out there." And that gets like punctuated with this rising like feedback hiss of static that like flares up and then settles.
Nice. All right. I'm going to indicate to you that like I'm going to begin, and so it's like a this also like the cochlear implant thing is like embedded in you, right? This isn't a thing that we're going to be able to remove and work on.
This is integrated with the meat, Sidney.
Yeah. My least favorite part of tech, and yet my favorite way to have chips. So I think we is this just like I have to straddle your chest and like sit above you while you look up?
Yeah, I'm imagining it as being this like, it's like her whole throat has been kind of covered over with this thing that like it's like a hand gripping her neck, but the fingers are going under the skin into it. So it's like integrated in there, and there's this, metallic section that's kind of right there along her throat, and that is like bolted into her clavicles or something. It's like anchored in her skeleton. And so yeah, she has to like take off her coat and all of her, like unwrap herself and take off all this crap. Basically like strip down to a tank top, and then yeah, I think probably like lay on the table.
Yeah. To Lockheed, like, so there's an implicit like vulnerability here, right? As like Lockheed like pulls out sharp things and like a plasma cutter torch, like, you know, some gas fed oxygen cutting torch or something like that. And he's gonna like work on very vulnerable parts of you. I think that Lockheed approaches it with like a real nothing attitude, like doesn't respect the intimacy or the vulnerability of it. Does that compare or contrast with Wolf? How do you feel about that?
I think she's like trying not to think about it too much, especially like as she's getting ready. She's definitely like nervous or wary about it and doesn't like it. Like she's bristling a little bit, but she's trying to not look like it's bothering her. She's trying to be a little bit stoic about it. But she's like, she doesn't stop staring at Lockheed the whole time. Like she doesn't let them out of her sight at all.
Hey, Andrew.
Uh-huh.
As I am over you, or as I am over Wolf, you know, sharp things in hand, working on your throat, whatever, and you're staring at Lockheed, and Lockheed like catches your eyes and is staring at you. Are we fucking? Like, is this?
It's definitely intimate. I mean,
because I got moves for this.
Like, yeah, you know, I was thinking about this and I was wondering, like, what would be her, you know, would she try to make a pass at Lockheed or something? And I think
I wrote a scene for or helped write a scene for Sunless Skies, wherein two characters repair an engine together, and they're fucking. Like that's what it is, right? Like absolutely a thing.
Yeah, I think it like comes up abruptly in the middle of the business at like probably the worst possible time, that like her hand just like touches Lucky's like midsection or something, like just goes up under his shirt, under their shirt rather, sorry. And like she can't speak while this is happening because her voice box is like disabled or whatever. And so she just kind of like does that and then like quirks an eyebrow like questioningly, and then like doesn't really wait for an answer and keeps going.
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. In fact, I have 3 questions for you, but I'll ask them spaced out. My first question is who made this? Who and so sorry for the audience. One of the things that's fun about being a savvy head is that when you have like a high degree of intimacy with a person, you essentially treat them like an object, and you can like read them like you would read equipment. And so all of the questions are like beautiful and technical, and I get to ask as a person, Wolf, who made this?
Yeah, I think you see like, well, so what's the idiom here? How is this coming through to Lockheed? Just so I can color my narration.
Yeah, this is a weird question, right? And so I think it's like it's something about in the same way that you know, a mechanic could tell how far a car is driven by looking at the tires, like by looking at your body, the things that like make you up and the way that they move against each other. There's a lot of these like bone feel inferences that happen.
Yeah, and I think maybe part of it too is you know, like these two people need to undress to get about their business, and it's like everything that she's wearing is like taken from a different dead soldier. Like all of her clothes belong to dead people. And there's just like this like endless line of bodies behind her that you start becoming aware of in this way of like, you know, like a vulture sees a lot of dead bodies, or, you know, yeah, like that she is just steeped in the desert and the carrion within it, and that she is like, you know, you are what you eat. So to an extent, she is kind of reflecting that in this way. She looks, you know, parched. She looks scorched by all of it, and she has like I think like on the side of her head, there's just this scar, all this scarring from like she got like splashed with some chemicals while she was messing with something, like some, you know, fluid thing burst or whatever, and so it just like has run down the side of her, and like all scar tissue. She doesn't grow hair there anymore. This kind of thing. Like she's just covered in all of these little anecdotes of brutality in the desert.
Gross. I love it. Thank you. This, I don't know if this is a good quick one or not, but who handled this last before me?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because we talked about someone being at the bottom of a fucking deep ravine last time.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think that was like a friendly consensual intimacy. I think that was like getting stabbed repeatedly, you know, ran out of bullets, had to settle it the old-fashioned way kind of situation. But she has like some just healed cuts on like her knuckles and hands. Like she, you know, was getting into some business that was messy and violent quite recently.
I really love that, like the equating of like the violence as physical intimacy thing. Like that's really cool to be like, because the question is expressed, I think, from Lockheed is like, we saw each other years ago. Like, you know, is this, you know, have there been other people since me that you've been like friends with or worked with or whatever, or like had similar relationships with? And the idea is like, oh, this thing that we're doing, yeah, I beat the shit out of someone before, and it's pretty much the same thing to me.
That's the closest to a friend that she's had lately, was that she had to like brutally murder with a knife. Yeah.
And then my last question is probably more to Ash, which is like this whole throat situation. What's wrong with this, and how might I fix it?
The problem is a thing that is like, this is fundamentally taking an electrical signal, amplifying it up, and then playing it out of a thing, right? The turning the signal up bit is what you're, which is exactly the thing you would also need to fix Bar's cochlear implant.
Cochlear, yeah.
You are missing a digital, like you're missing a digital to analog amplifier.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, I'm not going to be able to fix it here, so I think I just give it like the best tune up that I can, clean it all up as like best I can. You know, wiping your blood off the table with the same rag I use for like grease and oil. And
I think there's a moment where you definitely have the thought about how many of, like, how easy it used to be to find that component, right? Like that's not the problem. Is that as soon as you put a signal through it that is if like it's for making something louder, right? And as soon as you put something too loud into it, it fries it, right? And that's what's happened. Is that at some point Bar has heard something too loud, and at some point I think like by knowing what's wrong here, you also know that at some point, I think Wolf has tried to make some kind of noise with their voice box, which is louder than humans should be able to make.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So I don't want to drag this scene out, but I do want to read Lockheed in the course of this.
Sure, please.
And oh, by the way, you can take +1 forward because you're.
Oh, thank you.
You're nice.
I appreciate you.
And I also get to take +1 forward, which I guess means I spend it on this roll. So let's see here. Is that going to work correctly? Well, I roll snake eyes.
Nice.
All right, cool. So +1 forward for those who aren't heaps familiar. It is it means that you get +1 on your next roll, or until a certain thing happens. So,
and I think this covers the like afterglow period. You know, this is like getting dressed again afterwards, etc. And she's kind of sizing Lockheed up.
Mm-hmm.
What triggers +1 forward?
So in this case, that was that's my special. Is if me and another character are intimate, I take +1 forward, and at my option, they can take +1 forward as well.
Oh, cool.
So like different moves will say take +1. For instance, we talked about like you getting +1 to act on the results of to act on the answers of a thing.
Right.
So there's +1 in a certain situation, or there's +1 forward for the next thing, right? So
cool.
Yeah. You still get to ask a question, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do I want to know from Lockheed? Let me just pull this handout out again, since I lost my spot. So what does your character wish I would do? I have rolled into town. I have made myself your problem on some level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I wish yes, there's so much tasty stuff here. I think you wish I wish you'd be someone else. Like I like you. Like you're fine. You're nice, but also you're not going to look after yourself. You're fundamentally, composed of a history of violence. Your body and mind are both worn down, and like I wish you'd just like settle and be just chill and look after yourself.
And so I think as she just starts like packing up her stuff. Once everything's said and done, and we didn't end up doing the repair, right? So,
yeah, I think like very matter of factly, you get told like, that's the best I can do for now. If you hang around, like I'm working on a solution, but
yeah. So I think she just
you
says,
wouldn't
like,
understand the details.
She just says, "You know what? This is good enough. Don't worry about it. Consider what just happened payment." And she just like slides all of her tradable goods back into her bag, slings it over her shoulder.
Yeah,
Can I throw a thing? Throw a thing in?
Or you've got this hard move if you wish. Yeah.
I mean, like being in the doorway is like, is this a bad time? Like, just like someone just walks in, like, like this incredibly like, yeah. I like the idea of this of like, and then yeah.
And I think like Wolf is like, to Lockheed at the very least, visibly upset suddenly, right? Like there's this moment and then she just like turns 180, closes off, says what she said, scoops all of her stuff, and then she just walks out the door past this person and just says, nope.
And like Bean is an important person.
Yeah, I think she like does the shoulder bump into you thing as well, of just like, I am walking in a straight line. If you're in my way, you're getting hit thing. Like she just walks through Bean out the door while saying nope.
Yeah, and like I want to, say something, call something after you, and I'm sure that Lockheed does as well. But like, we both know that there's nothing we can say that changes your heading at this point. Even if we change your mind, you're still going to storm off, and that's okay. And I think I think there's the feeling, and maybe Lockheed even says this to Bean of like, she'll come back when she needs something fixed. She always does.
Yeah, and Bean, I think Bean is like, better to focus on work anyway. And yeah, we get the thing again of like focusing on the like technical details instead of the people and the like.
Yeah.
Bean has some work he wants you to do.
Everyone does. Everyone always does.
He's got an old book with a what's the word I'm looking for? It's how to make a radio signal amplifier, right? It's how to make a broadcast tower.
Yep.
And he's like, I think we need one of these, and like can't read, so he points at the picture, and then hands you a cardboard box full of components. And he's like, I've looked at them all, and I think this is what we think this is what you need. There are lots of parts in there that are potentially very useful. But yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's a sense of being like, yeah, getting to work and just working along with Bean, but like I am pissy, and I work pissily. I think like Bean picks it up that I'm in this just like rotten mood, and if Bean keeps pushing me to like
Bean is trying to own you right now.
Yeah,
right?
Bean
is trying to own your time right now.
Yeah. And like there's this sense that like I'm just gonna keep escalating my grumpiness into like huffs and kicking shit and like just like being generally unpleasant. And as the longer this goes on, the more unpleasant I get. At some point I'm sure there's like a break to that.
I think I'm happy to like cut away on that if you're cool.
Yeah. That's
sweet. Let me have a look. Do you have a like a shot you want to go to, Andrew, or are you like, are you like, I'm going here? Or
I was thinking of being a good little role-playing game player and going to the bar. It seems like the natural place to go next.
I do love you dearly.
So, and I figure we've got like enough time to set up maybe another like cliffhanger-y scene.
I was going to say, like, let's do like a quick intro and find a spot to hang it?
Yeah, that was my sense of the matter.
You didn't
Yeah.
want to go to a mysterious new location that we haven't discussed up until this point. Where
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave
like-
town immediately.
Yeah.
A bunch
I
of
walk
names
into the
together.
sunset.
Name.
Here's my character
Yeah.
sheet. I'm now the Skinner.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to.
What's it look like as you come in?
Are you
I
talking
think
to
she
me
just
or-
like kind of stomps in, sits down at the bar. There's like a loud kind of jangle as she drops her like pack to the floor, props her giant rifle against the bar next to her, and then just like knocks on it. Since the last time she came in, she didn't get any attention or service. She's just like, I'm gonna be a little more insistent this time. And she just like knocks on the bar pretty loudly.
I would say Floor, who I would say FLOR, the bartender of the day, or the yeah, the sort because it serves easy food, yeah. So yeah, the wait staff of the day would show up and take the order, and in the meantime, Saf is sitting in the back corner space. Remembers you coming in from yesterday, but there wasn't any particular conversation that you had, so doesn't necessarily like get up to do a whole lot, but like catches your eye, gives you a wave. And correct me, there is a one-way connection, right? That I am very attractive, or Saf is very attractive to Wolf, but
Yes.
there's okay. Yeah.
It's like
So
one-sided from my part. I don't. Yeah, your side is up to you.
right.
You
I
have
was
no
like,
obligation.
I was gonna say like probably still like because I don't think I think whatever had put together, we don't necessarily have
Wait a minute.
history.
I think the history question you did end up going with was that I was like interesting or attractive on some
Or
level.
yeah, I was gonna say right. Yeah. So Wolf is that's true. So I think the yeah, sees you and remembers you from yesterday. And is intrigued, is glad, is like, oh, you made it back. I because I didn't think I was the one who left you behind, right? We don't
No, yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have any priors.
we don't
Yeah.
have a prior, yeah. So I would say like looks, sees you over there. Part of the appeal probably is the direct, gruff. Saf is much more used to using the charm, navigating the situation with less directness. So in hearing that sort of like, thud or whatever, looks over and sees them and is like, okay, like waves, gives the high and the wave with a little bit of the extra charm on there. Not gonna tip the hand early.
Yeah, and she just like keeps looking at him for like an awkwardly long time. Like
Right.
you've gotten her attention, and then she just kind of like flatly stares
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Saf, like, it doesn't make it weird, but does cut the contact. Like, the first wave happens, Wolf keeps looking, and Saf looks up and then looks back down, like acknowledges it, gives a little bit back, but again, not totally tipping the hand yet.
Yeah, and when he looks away, she like there's just like a little hint of a smirk, and then she goes like looks back towards the bar. Maybe her like food's showing up or whatever.
Yeah. I would say the gesture that Floor recognizes the gesture that that Saf is giving. It looks like just a hello or whatever, but it's actually also a little bit of high sign. So when Wolf receives their food, there's also like a little bit of an extra garnish. Like it's decorated with a I was gonna say a flower, but that's gonna feel floor like. But there's a it's not a sunflower. It's a small flower that's kind of the inverse. It has a yellow core and black leaves. It's like a strange hybrid. Like it's probably not it is probably more plastic than it is organic. But a little like small token that's on the side. And Floor says Saf sends his regards.
Yeah. What does she say to that? Fuck. I think she just kind of grunts. And it's like, does that mean the meal's free?
Of course not. Like Floor doesn't even miss a beat. It's just like, no.
I want to end on that. Because the thing we'll have to do at the start of the next episode is like lifestyle and upkeep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is
so-
a good lead into it. So
Yeah, I like that as the question of who pays for the food is immediately, and like how does, I mean, on the plus side, you didn't have to pay for your the work you were doing, so
well, it didn't get fixed either, though. So
no, exactly, 100%. Wonderful. Okay, well, I'm very excited to come back and continue to turn some of these screws next week. But in the meantime, let's do some sign-offs. Let's start with Sidney.
Hello. My name is Sidney. You can find me at waxwings.com.au. Please don't forget the AU. I make game stuff. I'm heading to Metatopia in a week. Let me know if you're going. And yeah, I look forward to being back here in 2 weeks.
Nice. We're doing 2 weeks or 1 week?
I will be at Metatopia next week.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. That's.
But you're welcome to keep going. I'll just
Let's
roll
we'll
for Broadcast
work
Tower.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
Josh.
Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. You can find me twitch.tv/Intelligame, INTELLI game. Friday, planning on doing a fundraiser for a couple charities to help with some of the absolutely horrific shit that is happening in Gaza and Lebanon. So I would say keep an eye out there. And if you go to what is it? Go to the link tree, linktr.ee/Intelligame gives you the links to all this stuff, including the newsletter.
Wonderful. That sounds like an excellent plan. I'm gonna try and catch you. Andrew.
Yeah, I'm Andrew. You can follow me on Blue Sky. I'm Andrew Gillis on there, and you can buy my role-playing game, Girl by Moonlight, a game of tragic magical girls.
Cool. Wonderful. Very, very wonderful. I like it. Would be nice if we get to play that one here at some point. But I imagine you've played a lot of it at this point. So I've been Ash. You can follow me at Acegiac, ACEGIAK, everywhere and anywhere. It's been lovely playing with y'all, and we'll catch you later. Bye.
Goodbye, friends.